Peter Frederick. Your microphone. I'm sorry. There you
Thank
go.
you. Just 2 weeks ago, a religious supremacist organization called the Global Hindu Heritage Foundation, which is a nonprofit registered in Frisco, Texas, hosted a fundraiser to raise money to channel funds overseas to support two major agenda items: the destruction of churches in India and the so-called reconversion of Indian Christians and Muslims to Hinduism. This fundraiser has sent shockwaves through the Indian American community in the Dallas-Fort Worth region. The DFW region is home to over 30,000 Indian Christians and tens of thousands of Indian Muslims. Many, if not most of these people came to America seeking a land where they could flourish in an environment that celebrates and protects diversity, inclusivity, equality, peace, communal harmony, and freedom of religion. Many, if not most of them, have friends and family back home in India who are impacted by ongoing and escalating persecution. That persecution of religious minorities in India has taken root over the past 8 years under the currently ruling BJP. India's ruling BJP, which is actually the political wing of a fascist paramilitary called the RSS, is ideologically devoted to eradicating, eliminating, and exterminating minorities from the country by any means it deems necessary. The concern here in the DFW region is that there are entities using American free soil to aid and abet that toxic, hateful, and supremacist agenda over there in India. This so-called reconversion of Indian Christians and Muslims, for instance, is typically done under the pressure of either social boycott or the threat of physical violence. These churches, which face destruction, meanwhile, are not the only ones. Over the past several years, not only have hundreds of Christian churches in India been torched, but Sunday services are now today routinely invaded by mobs of hundreds who shut them down, beat the congregants and the clergy, and work to force the Indian Christian church underground. Make no mistake, this directly impacts tens of thousands of Indian Americans living in the DFW region because it is happening to their friends and families in India. It also directly impacts them because there is a local Frisco nonprofit now fundraising to support this kind of agenda. Over the past week, Indian Americans have mobilized. On December 6, over 200 attended the Frisco City Council to support over a dozen speakers who denounced this agenda. On December 11, around 150 rallied outside Frisco City Hall to stand up for religious freedom. On December 13, the largest national Indian American Christian umbrella organization held a press conference outside Frisco City Hall to condemn this agenda of hate. I urge the Dallas City Council today to speak out against religious supremacy and raise your voices in support of the persecuted, beleaguered, and bleeding religious minorities of India, people who are now facing an impending genocide. Fascism is rising, indeed has already risen in India. And your voices today could help to not only slow or even stop its rise, but also help to comfort those tens of thousands of Indian Americans of religious minority backgrounds who are your constituents in the DFW area. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.